Howdy, howdy, folks, and welcome to Moose Podcast number 371. It's the application that gets you. How you folks doing? Been a great week. Hey, yes, a lot of you ask, Caddo Lake. It is an amazing place. Amazing place. I really am grateful for all the kind words and response to the images that I put up from our adventure last week. It was absolutely no 2 minutes were the same, even though you're on the same lake. I'm there with some great friends and Captain Rich, and boy, it was marvelous. It's it is anomaly on our landscape. So if you get the opportunity to head there, and use Captain Rich because his knowledge and history really helps your photography. It's a marvelous place. So I appreciate all the kind words. Kind of quiet on the question front. Had one good one. So I'll keep putting out those quarterly questions, which is something that a couple of people have been asking. And yes, I'm going to try to get some more guests back on. Meshing up schedules is just a challenge. Hey, this week again is being recorded by a Toby podcast beta. Sound is better, text not so much, but the transcript will be there on the blog post for the podcast. Coming up end of this week, I'll be in Philly, Unique Photo, doing a brand new presentation, The Art and Craft of Bird Photography. This is probably I'm going to say the fifth version of this presentation, and I'm liking it the best so far. And it actually will it kind of goes into this week's podcast. So I hope you guys see me. The information is there on the website. Join us. It's going to be a great, great time. Hey, I want to thank my good friends at Bedford Camera, bedfords.com. It seems to be the 600 week. They got my Z600TC to me. They got another one to my friend in New York. And another friend in California just got her Z600 6.3. One of the first people to get the lens. So that's just Bedford's. They just get the gear out. They got the inventory. They've got the service. They've got the knowledge. They got the prices, and of course, they've got the Moose discount. And they are sponsors, of course, of the Moose podcast. So head to bedfords.com, either in person, by phone, by the web. And remember to mention old Moose when you're there and check out to get that 5%. They're the greatest. So thank you, Bedfords, for sponsoring the Moose podcast. Let's get right into this week's episode. It's the application that gets you. Well, where's this come from? It's as you might have noticed, we live in a really kind of interesting world, and I'm very much a part of it. And it just brings up lots of things trying to get your attention, and in that process, trying to get your money. And sometimes they really think they've got something that's going to help you, and other times, well, I think they're point blank bamboozling you. So, long time ago, not even this century, last century, had an assignment when I was at Brooks. Now, at Brooks Institute of Photography there in Santa Barbara, it's no longer. We used 4x5 cameras for almost all of our assignments. We did have EDLs, everyday life, that we did with our street cameras, 35 millimeter film. But everything else was done by 4x5s for a lot of reasons. The main one was because you had that big 4-inch by 5-inch size negative. You could see every good thing and every bad thing really easily. One of the first assignments had to do with Scheinflug. That had to do with using the rising and tilting fronts and backs of the 4x5 camera. And like all the other students, I was there in class. I listened to the assignment, which was a lot of photographs. I remember it was like 16 individual photographs. And we had to go down to the city hall and photograph with the 4x5s using rising and tilting fronts. And if the whole thing was you could keep perspective correct. You didn't have to use a PC lens and do anything in Photoshop, which wasn't even around back then. This is all black and white. This is all the wet darkroom. So I took all my copious notes and I watched the demos there in class, conferred with all my classmates. I went down there, and even though I had listened to it, listened to all the theory, I listened to the math, one of my strong points, I saw how I did it. I got down there, I got with my notes, and I'm like, oh no. And I'm trying to rise and tilt and swing and tilt and rise and create this big, what was going to be turned in this large 16 by 20 board of all these contact prints. And they had to be, of course, mounted perfectly and captioned. So the instructor would know that this is for part one, two, three, and etc. God. The first time, yeah, no, it didn't work. And you had the chance to reshoot it. I reshot it again. No. And I'm really abbreviating this because you have to understand that you had to load these film holders, and film holders only held 2 shots of film at a time, and then you had to process it, dip and dunk, and then you had to print it, and then you had to mount it. So then the third time, finally got a B. Nah, never got an A. Got a B on it, and I said, okay, I think I've understand the concept. I'm going to move forward. Yeah, I didn't learn the concept, and that's the issue. All of us, as we go about our photography, we read the books, we go to the web, we go to lectures, we watch online classes. We go, okay, yeah, I got it. You take our copious notes, you get it, you go, and everything is golden. And then you go to apply it, and it goes, and it all blows up. And it's like, what do I do? What button do I push? And that is really, the issue. You're all smart. I haven't met any photographer out there that's trying to learn photography who wasn't smart. I have met many who are trying to find this, what you could say, get rich quick kind of scheme that, you do this real quick, you do that real quick, and boom, all your photographs look like the person's been doing it for 10 years. Yeah, that's a bunch of baloney. It doesn't work that way. Not even close. Not even in there is no shortcut. And the problem is, it's because the application is what gets you. Uh, let's take white balance. Quick example. It's really important. You've heard me say it a million times. It's really important. And even with that simple starting point that I tell people, if you're going to jump down the rabbit hole, this is what you got to do. You're going to shoot auto white balance all the time, except for you see red in the sky, and then you're going to go correct, cloudy. See, you folks know that. You knew the answer. Yet I take folks out, said that to them 100 times, and they look at me and go, what white balance you at? And that's the issue. We understand that, but we got to apply it. So why is the application so difficult? Have you ever asked yourself, why is the application so difficult? Well, I have, but then I asked too many questions too many times trying to seek answers. Why is the application so difficult? Because while we take all this in logically and it all goes up into our head, to get what is in our head out to our hands to the camera, it's got to go through our heart. And that's where the logjam is, because we are very passionate folks. Photographers, whether you just started out doing it for a while or a long time, for like myself, we're passionate about what we're doing. We have an emotional attachment to what we're seeing. We have an emotional attachment to what we're producing. And we have an emotional attachment to the responses we get to all of that. And that's what makes the application so challenging. Is there a shortcut? Now, there's a lot of folks out there who think and want to tell you that there are shortcuts to this. There's not. There's not. And and I can't emphasize enough, or prod you enough, or provoke you enough that when you hear someone telling you that, look at their photographs, not just the one photograph that they're using to sell the concept. Look at their body of photographs. Look at the consistency of what they put out there. And you realize that that's, in theory, supposedly their best images, right? The other stuff, because we all take the other stuff, you don't put it out there. But do they have an eye, a good enough eye, that they're consistently putting out stuff out there that you go, okay, I like what that person's doing. I want to figure out how they're doing it. And that's important. You got to realize in the application, you've got to figure out what it is they're doing you like, and then bring that into your photography. Don't try to be a clone. And that's one of the issues with some of these, systems, is that they throw a lot out at you, but you've got to apply it. And as I just mentioned, that application, oof, that's what gets you. Is there then a shortcut? No, there is no shortcut. And that's why I've said so many times, you've got to give yourself time. Does it get frustrating? Yeah. Does it get to be painful? Yeah, I'm afraid so sometimes. Are there times where you just want to hang it up? I've known many a photographer who has hung it up. And it could be for the better that some people do. And I've been very fortunate to spend time with photographers who had hung it up, and then they decide to come back in, and they come back in working through previous issues and embracing new ones, to be quite enamored by, thrilled, and in love with their photography. Now, there is so many of those things out there, like the 10,000 hour rule, and and I understand where they come from. I understand the genesis of them. But working with photographers, and I'll be honest, working with photographers that sometimes are really frustrating because they don't understand how to apply. I've tried to think about ways in which I can improve that. And sometimes it's not enough, but sometimes things will come to my mind, and that, okay, try using this word, literally just a single word, and see if that change of one word will make the light bulb go on. Can I change the phrase? Can I change the scenario we're looking at when I apply that one word or that phrase? Can we change it with a subject? Can we change it with a lens? I mean, I've tried all these different scenarios. Had Sharon many times standing there listening, and then we debrief afterwards and say, how could I have done better? And it's a challenge that is universal and it's human. That if you, feel any of those angst that go with photography, that we all do feel, we all do go through. First, understand you're not alone. And two, don't give up on yourself or your photography. And three, don't think one of these quick, guaranteed you're going to learn this in 5-step kind of methods is going to save your butt, because you still got to apply what it is you've learned. And no matter the profession, and and I know there's all these, everything from physics to bowling to photography to gardening to baking. I mean, the list goes on and on. You could read that cookbook, you could read that recipe, you could follow it step by step by step by step, and still come out with a souffle that's a mush, says a big, high rising, gorgeous thing. That's the nature of life. And if you think there's a shortcut to photography, then let me tell you, I got some real estate for sale that would just be perfect for you. You guys have a great week. Thanks so much for interacting and supporting the Moose Podcast. and remember to make every click your story.